Dear friends, I heartily congratulate you all for getting admission in our Pujya Sane Guruji Vidya Prasarak Mandal's Arts, Science and Commerce Junior College Shahada. Let me introduce myself, Professor P.C. Chaudhary. I will teach you one of the most important subject, that is chemistry of 11th science. We know very well that current situation of COVID-19 does not allow to open our school and colleges till minimum up to 2 to 3 months or maybe up to vaccination program. So we need to educate through online process. Friends, actually many more options are there to teach you, like Zoom app, Google Meet, YouTube. You know very well that. So on. Zoom meeting is not suitable for us because it covers only 100 participants. You know very well that. We are about 400 to 450 students. So we can use YouTube. It also beneficial over Zoom app as it can be saved and viewed later as possible. We see here an image composed of well-known personalities. Firstly, Honorable late Shri Anna Saheb P.K. Patil, the founder chairperson, chairman of Vidyashram Parivar. Shrimati Kamaltai Saheb Patil, the secretary of this institution. Honorable Shri Bapu Saheb Deepak Bhai Patil, the president of our Pujya Sane Guruji Vidya Prasarak Mandal Shahada. And lastly, Honorable Shri M.N. Patil Saheb, the coordinator of our education department of Mandal. Left below, we can see the most beautiful educational campus and central library. Right below, we can see the lecture hall building of our junior college. Friends, an image view represents importance of study of chemistry in education system. Friends, where is chemistry? Actually, where is chemistry is very much wrong question nowadays. But its corrected form is where is no chemistry? Because anywhere, anytime, we all are exposing chemistry related things. You know very well that. Image shown all image category or important category that we have in our everyday life, like food, paper, petrol, cloths, plastic, cooking, and so on, etc. etc. are very much familiar to us. Okay, all these things are composed of various chemicals, different substances that undergoing various physical and chemical changes. Our body is fully made by different chemicals. Chemical means, don't worry, I mean different elements, protein, vitamin, hormones, etc. etc. Next one is, what is mean by chemistry? Firstly, we have to start from its definition, friends. So, chemistry is the branch of science which deals with the study of different physical and chemical properties and changes undergoing by any matter. Okay. Now next. Classification of matter. The word arising here, matter, in definition. So what is meant by matter? We can see its classification. Matter means anything you have to see. Okay, the matter is broadly classified into two categories. First one is pure substance and second one is mixture. Okay, so what is meant by pure substance? Pure substance have a definite chemical composition. Pure substance have a definite chemical composition. They have always same properties. Okay, pure substance have definite chemical composition and shows same properties. For example, pure metal. Suppose gold is there. Gold. Okay, pure gold. Okay, which does not have any impurity. That means pure metal. Okay, then distilled water, etc. Now mixture have no definite chemical composition. Okay, controversy to pure substance, mixture have no definite chemical composition and hence no definite properties. For example, you see muddy water which contains mud, sand, soil particles in water. Okay, another example is paint, in which various chemicals are there. So these are two things, pure substance and mixture. Now pure substance are again divided into two category again. First one is element and second one is compound. So what is mean by element? In Marathi we can say मूलद्रव्य. Elements means मूलद्रव्य. So elements, like, actually elements are also pure substance. Okay, for example hydrogen, which is represented by single H, oxygen, which is represented by O, nitrogen represented by N, sodium Na, okay, potassium K. That are the elements present in our periodic table. You know very well that. Okay, these elements are again classified into three category. First one is metal, second one is non-metal, and third one is metalloid. You know very well what is mean by metal. Metal have some definite properties. Okay, for example copper, nickel, iron. Okay, these are metals. Gold. Okay, then non-metals are iodine, carbon, nitrogen. All these are non-metals. Metals and non-metals are divided by means of their properties. Okay, and third one is metalloid. So metalloid examples are silicon, germanium, arsenium. Actually we can see later in detail all these things in next chapter. Okay, so elements are divided into metals, non-metals and metalloids. Now what is mean by compound? Compound are made by different atoms of elements. For example water. Water is made by two atoms of hydrogen and one atom of oxygen. That means H2O. Okay, so these compounds are composed of more than two elements or two atoms of different elements. Okay, water, ammonia contains one nitrogen and three hydrogen, that is NH3. This is also compound. Okay, glucose, which contains 6 carbon, 12 hydrogen and 6 oxygen. This is a glucose molecule. So these are the compounds. Okay, and here matter are broadly classified into two, that is pure substance and mixture. Now we can see mixture are categorized into homogeneous and heterogeneous. So what is mean by homogeneous? Homo means same, hetero means different. Okay, homogeneous means which is exist in single phase, same phase. Heterogeneous means which are exist in different phase. So how we can distinguish it? Homogeneous means if a mixture of two things, suppose that solute and solvent is there. Okay, this is a mixture. Here if it is homogeneous, then solvent and solute both are forms single phase. For example, suppose milk is added in water. What happen? Milk and water are mixed up throughout the bulk. Okay, but if we have to add some oil in water, what happen? Oil separate out from water. Water is below the oil level. Oil is due to low density, it is on the upper side, and water is on the lower side. So this is not homogeneous mixture, this is heterogeneous mixture. Okay, so we can see homogeneous and heterogeneous system of matter. Now next, fundamental units. Friends, actually this is our first lecture and we can see most important basic things regarding with our chemistry. So this is very important topic, that is fundamental units. Fundamental quantity, actually the word is important here, fundamental quantity. Okay, there are two types of quantities, fundamental quantity and derived quantity. In physics you will see in detail, but here our topic is fundamental quantity or fundamental unit. There are 7 fundamental quantities. In 1960, the General Conference of Weight and Measures proposed a metric system called as International System of Units, that is SI units. International System of Units, that is SI units. Okay, there are 7 basic fundamental quantities. Each has a specific SI unit. We can see here an image. First one is length, which is represented by small l. The name of SI unit is meter. Okay, and this meter, while writing we have to write only m, small m, not metre. Okay, while paper writing we can write only small m. Second one is mass. Okay, mass is represented by m and its unit is kilogram. Okay, many more units are there. We can measure the mass in gram also, kilogram also, ton also, quintal also. But according to SI system, International System of Unit, the units are specific. Here we can use kilogram, not gram or quintal or ton. Okay, in this way, which is represented by small kg. Now third one is time. Time is represented by t and its unit is second, not minute or hour. Okay, it is second and represented by small s. Fourth one is electric current, which is represented by I. Okay, and its SI unit is ampere. Current is measured in ampere. Okay, and represented by capital A. Now next one is temperature. It is also called as thermodynamic temperature. Okay, it is represented by capital T and its SI unit is Kelvin. You know the temperature is measured in different units like Fahrenheit, Celsius, Kelvin. Okay, Celsius is familiar to us. Okay, but here SI unit is Kelvin and which is represented by K. Next one is amount of substance. Okay, amount of substance means quantity of substance. Okay, its SI unit is mole, MOLE, but while writing we can write only MOL, that is mole. Okay, now last one is luminous intensity, which is represented by IV. The SI unit of it is candela and represented by small cd. Okay, these are basic fundamental quantities and each quantity has its specific unit as given in the image. Okay, some derived quantities are also there. like volume. Okay, what is meant by derived quantity? Actually fundamental quantity are basic quantities. Okay, but from fundamental quantity we can get some other quantities, that is derived quantity. Derived means from fundamental quantity we can produce. Okay, so derived quantities, for example volume, density. Okay, you know very well that volume, आकारमान in Marathi. Okay, density, that is ghanata. Okay, these are some derived quantities. Next one is Gay-Lussac law. Our next topic is Gay-Lussac law. Friends, actually some portion of our chemistry, that is about 25%, are subtracted in this year. Why? You know very well that due to our irregular college time, due to COVID-19. Okay, so about 25% of syllabus of each subject are deleted from our syllabus. But one important thing is put here: you should learn all these things, and if you have any problem you can WhatsApp me. Okay, now next one is Gay-Lussac law, which is introduced in our syllabus. So Gay-Lussac law, it is regarding with volume of different gases. Okay, basically volume of different gases. It was proposed by Gay-Lussac in 1808. Okay, so statement is here: the ratio between the volume of gaseous reactants and gaseous products can be expressed in simple whole number. I will repeat you: the ratio between the volume of gaseous reactants and gaseous products can be expressed in simple whole number. We can see a reaction here: twice H2 plus O2, it gives twice H2O. Suppose that we can take 100 ml of water. Okay, 100 ml of water, and in another 50 ml of oxygen. If both are combined together to form 100 ml of H2O, 100 plus 50 is not equal to 150. Friends, carefully see here: 100 ml of H2 plus 50 ml of O2, it gives twice H2O molecule and it occupy 100 ml of volume. Here oxygen only one molecule, hydrogen are of two molecule, and producing H2O molecule are also two molecule. Means the ratio is given here: twice H2 single oxygen and twice H2O. Means it represented by a simple whole number ratio. Simple whole number ratio, that is 2:1:2. Suppose we have to write O2 firstly plus twice H2 secondly, then this ratio is converted into 1:2, 2:2, 2. Okay, simply here twice H2 is right first, so we can write 2, then O2 is 1, then H2O is 2. So twice H2 1, H2 twice. Okay, this is Gay-Lussac law. Okay, suppose another example is there. Suppose one molecule of nitrogen, that is N2, plus 3 molecule of H2, that is thrice H2, it gives 2 molecule of ammonia, that is NH3. The reaction is N2 plus thrice H2, it gives twice NH3. So what happened? What is the ratio? Nitrogen is 1, hydrogen is 3, and the number of ammonia molecule are 2. So the ratio is 1:2, 3:2, 2. Okay, now next, Avogadro's law. The statement is there: equal volume of all the gases at the same temperature and pressure contains equal number of molecules. At same temperature and pressure, each gas occupy the same number of molecules. Simply. Okay. In 1811, Avogadro's was stated that equal volume of all gases at the same temperature and pressure contains same number of or equal number of molecules. Example is same here: twice H2 plus O2, it gives twice H2O. Here hydrogen are of 2 molecules, oxygen are of 1 molecule, it gives twice molecule of H2O. Means suppose that one volume of oxygen contain n molecule. One volume of oxygen contain n molecule combined with 2 volume of H2 which contains twice n molecule. Okay, producing 2 volume of water vapor, means gaseous water vapor. Okay, composed of twice n molecules. Now next, atomic mass. What is mean by atom? The atom word is important in our chemistry. It is the basic unit. Just like our body, the cell is a single basic unit of our body. As same as the chemistry is made by a single atom. Okay, so what is mean by atom? Its definition is important here: a smallest indivisible part or particle of any matter, that is called as atom. Okay, each atom of every element has a characteristic atomic mass. It is actually very small. For example, the mass of one hydrogen atom is 1.66 into 10 raised to minus 24 gram. 10 raised to minus 24. Okay, 1.66 into 10 raised to minus 24 gram. This is very small quantity, friends, and not easy to measure. Hence, in 1961, a system was established. According to them, the mass of any atom of any element is related to the mass of C12 atom, that is carbon 12 atom. Okay, carbon atom simply. In this system, an atom of carbon 12 is assigned a mass of exactly 12 AMU. Here, AMU means atomic mass unit. AMU means atomic mass unit. So firstly, we can see the definition of atomic mass unit, that is a mass exactly equal to 1/12 of the mass of one carbon atom, carbon 12 atom. Okay, so now see here, 1 AMU is equal to 1/12 into mass of 1 carbon 12, that is equal to 1/12 into 1.9926 into 10 raised to minus 23 gram. Here mass of one carbon is what? 1.9926 into 10 raised to minus 23 gram. Okay, and that is equal to 1.66 into 10 raised to minus 24 gram, as you shown in image. Okay, actually recently AMU has been replaced by U, that means unified mass unit. Okay, so we can write next as U, not AMU. Okay, one problem is given here. Suppose mass of an atom of oxygen in gram is 26.56896 into 10 raised to minus 24 gram. Okay, so what is the atomic mass of oxygen in U? I will repeat question. Mass of an atom of oxygen is 26.56896 into 10 raised to minus 24 gram. Okay, so what is the atomic mass of oxygen which is measured in U, that is unified mass unit? Okay, so we can solve this. The mass of an atom of oxygen in gram is given. What is 26.56 into 10 raised to minus 24 gram. Okay, and 1.66 into 10 raised to minus 24 gram is equal to 1 unit. Okay, so 26.56896 into 10 raised to minus 24 gram is equal to what? So we can calculate the atomic mass of oxygen in U by means of formula given here. Okay, and its answer is 60. What? Its answer is 16 unit. Okay, similarly the mass of an atom of hydrogen is calculated in the same way as 1 unit, that is 1.0080 unit, means about 1 unit. Okay, this is atomic mass. Now next one is average atomic mass. Average atomic mass. It was found that many elements have exist in nature in more than one isotopes. Actually, what is meant by isotope is also important here. Isotope means what? The atoms of same element having same atomic number but different mass number are called as isotopes. And same isobar. Isotope and isobar is two things. Isotope means what? The atoms of same element having same atomic number but different mass number. But in case of isobar, it is same mass number but different atomic number. Here the atomic number are different, means they are obtained from different elements. So atoms of different elements having different atomic number but same mass number are called as isobar. Okay, we need here isotope, not isobar. So the atomic mass of such an isotopic element is the weighted atomic mass of its all isotopes. Okay, this is called average atomic mass of an element. For example, in the nature, not carbon is not in pure form actually. Okay, sometime carbon exists in C12, sometime it exists in C13, sometime it exists in C14. We can see in the image isotopes are given here. First one is C12, C13 and last one is C12, C14. Okay, their atomic masses are different as given 12, 13 and 14. Okay, now its relative abundance in the nature in percent is given here. C12 is found about 98.89, C13 is about 1.10 and C14 is about 2 into 10 raised to minus 10% in the nature. Okay, means carbon exists in three isotopic form, C12, C13 and C14. Simply we can say carbon sometime exists in C12, sometime it is in C13 or C14 also. Okay, so in that case it is important to calculate the average atomic mass of carbon. Here there are three isotopes. Okay, so we can calculate the average atomic mass by means of a definite formula which is given in the next problem. Okay, the average atomic mass for carbon can be calculated and it is found to be 12 unit, that is unified mass unit. Okay, so simple problem is given here. Calculate the average atomic mass of neon using the following data. Okay, there are three isotopes of neon given here, their atomic masses and natural abundances. Okay, so here also neon 20, neon 21 and neon 22. These are the mass number of neon. There are three neon atoms we have to take, then their atomic masses are given and natural abundance are also given. Okay, so neon 20 having atomic mass 19.99, okay, and its natural abundance is 90.92%. Next one is neon 21, its atomic mass is 20.99 its abundance is 0.26%. And last one is neon 22, which has atomic mass 21.99. Its natural abundance is found to be 8.82%. Okay, so solution is given here. Atomic mass of neon, that is average atomic mass of neon, is equal to atomic mass of neon 20 into its percent plus atomic mass of neon 21 into its percent plus atomic mass of neon 22 into its percent upon 100. If we have to add these all values, and we get the final answer is 20.1707 unit, means about 20 units. Okay, so this is average atomic mass of neon. We can calculate average atomic mass of any isotopes. Okay, isotopes means they are naturally occurring substances, and its average atomic mass we can calculate by means of given formula. Friends, today we have to stop here. Actually, this is our first lecture. I doesn't depress you by loading lot of chemistry on your head. Okay, so dear friends, I wish to remind once again that chemistry is an interesting subject if you have. Okay, otherwise it is very tough for many more students. Okay, now it is very important subject in your academic future also, so don't ignore it. Okay, thanks, see you soon.